What up, Nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above or directly at wisetake.com if you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day Pass is available to try us out. That being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place for some fire-free DFS content covering MLB right now, Monday through Friday, covering slates Monday through Friday, meaning we stream Sunday night through Thursday night. So subscribe, hit the notifications bell, don't miss out, come hang out, whether you watch it live late night or you catch it the next day. We appreciate you. Leave some comments. Love hearing your feedback. Shout out to Mr. Pat Bush, WiseTake regular. What's going on, man? Doing well here. Hope you're doing well. Also, Pat, man, good to see you. And hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, share. The more you guys help us grow, the more we're able to put back into the content we do. So we appreciate y'all. Those of you who are loyal. I mean, the views are fairly consistent, not as high as they once were, but fairly consistent, and it's because we got some loyal ass people in there. Before I get into this slate, quick shout out to Garrett Cole. I know, like, the way that I've been talking about the spin rate and the cheating and all that. It's not just, to be clear, it's not just Bauer, it's not just Cole. There's a lot of people doing this shit. People you wouldn't even expect to be doing this shit are doing this shit. You know, just because a player does it does not mean they're not good, right? Garrett Cole is still a good pitcher. He was a good pitcher on the Pirates, right? Maybe he wasn't as dominant as he was when he went to Houston, but he was a good pitcher on the Pirates. So, I mean, last I checked, it's only like 10:30. Last I checked, he was kind of shoving it to Minnesota. I better check just in case. And just in case that changed, that would be pretty dumb instantly rather than feeling dumb delayed. Let's see how Cole did. 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, 94 pitches, 6 innings. Did well. He did well. Shout out to him. But yeah, regardless, it's just a matter of, listen, it's the same thing in the steroid. Like, just because you use the sticky shit doesn't mean you're going to be an ace caliber pitcher, right? If you got up off your couch, and I'm assuming that you are not playing Major League Baseball regularly. If you are, this excludes you, or minor league baseball, professional baseball at all, whatever. If you get off your couch and you take steroids, you're probably not going to hit, 30 home runs, right, in a major league season, right? It does take skill, and yeah, the steroids help give you a little boost. With some people, it's like they're so talented they may not need it, but they do it anyway. It's kind of like, damn. But even if you took steroids, you still have to have the skill to put the bat on the ball, right? Yeah, you're going to have more power, but you still got to have that skill to do that, coordination to do that, right? Steroids won't do everything for you. So same thing with the sticky shit. Just because your ball's spinning more doesn't mean that you weren't going to be already good. Like Trevor Bauer, I do think is a good pitcher regardless. But, my beef with Trevor Bauer, knowing you do it, I personally don't believe DeGrom did it. And I know, people were asking in the comments, I'm a Met fan. Yeah, I'm a Met fan. But I personally don't think DeGrom's doing it simply because his spin rate is not among the top. If you look at his spin rate percentile, it's like in the 70 percentile or some shit like that. He doesn't have a, league leading spin rate. He doesn't, which is the whole point of the grip. They're trying to increase, not their velocity. They're trying to increase their spin rate in order to make the ball move more or less, right? So, yeah, get that off my chest. But either way, I still think that they're good pitchers. But with Bauer, I took a little personal because not only did he not come to the Mets, but I feel like he stole a Cy Young away from DeGrom last year. Using shit that you're not allowed to use. But regardless, he is a very good pitcher, and so is Garrett Cole. Shout out to them. Anyway, moving on. After that long intro, Chris Crocs, what's happening, bro? What's happening? All right. So So we got two slates. We're covering the night slate, the main slate here. We will be at WiseTake as well, though if I'm around early, I will try to hop in the Slack chat for those of you who subscribe to WiseTake.com to discuss the early slate. If I can make it work, man. I got daddy duty during the day, so see if I can make it work. All right. So I guess it's a good time as any to flip over to start things off with top pitchers. So we got Max Scherzer on the slate. At least we think we do. There is some weather we're going to have to sweat here with this game. So we think we have Max Scherzer. And I'm going to assume that we do until we don't, and he's the best pitcher on the slate by far. San Francisco Giants. This game is in Washington, not San Francisco. It is in Washington. Giants have a 187 ISO against righties with a 321 WOBA and a 105 WRC plus. One of the better teams as far as numbers go. But they also have a 26.9% K rate, which is one of the highest strikeout rates in the league against righties. So that's kind of right up Max Scherzer's alley. We'll give up a few runs for the double-digit strikeouts if we can get it, right? So yeah, Scherzer is an easy one. Hyunjin Ryu. As far as xFIP Sierra, everything looks good. Strikeout rate isn't massive, but he does play in his home parks have been very hitter friendly. That in Buffalo and obviously when they're playing in Dunedin, whatever TD Bank Park, some shit. But he's in another hitter friendly park in Chicago, playing the White Sox. And as we know, because we discuss it every time there's a lefty against the White Sox are among the top teams in the league. But if you notice, they've been passed in WRC plus. Baltimore tied them probably after beating up Peterson the other day, which was, we like that, right? Those of you that did read my article, WiseTake.com did. Hopefully, you did see Baltimore was there at the lower owned section. But Chicago is striking out more, 25% against lefties. They still got a 190 ISO, 351 WOBA, 127 WRC plus. But Houston's actually passed them, and they play lefty on the slate, which we'll talk about. So I think it's an interesting spot for Ryu. You gotta like Trevor Rogers, right? Strikeout rate 29.7%, second highest on the slate. ERA looks lower than his xFIP and Sierra, but his xFIP and Sierra are still really good. He's at home in a pitcher-friendly park against the Rockies. Rockies 99 WRC plus, 338 WOBA, 167 ISO, and remember these guys, their home field is Coors Field. So they play a lot of games at Coors. 23.4% K rate. Not massive, but between his upside the park, you got to like it. All right, so Scherzer and Rogers kind of stand out. After that, once we get past Ryu and these other guys, things get a little foggy. I think Frankie Montas is going to be trendy in cash games on DraftKings as an SP2. He's playing Kansas City. 94 ISO, 306 WOBA, 150. 94 WRC plus, 150 ISO, 22.5% K rate. But the game's in Oakland, whether it was in Oakland or Kansas City, both these teams have pitcher-friendly parks. Montas looks like he's been a little unlucky, though his numbers aren't impressive. He was another one I think I busted for PEDs and just hasn't really been the same. But the Royals are implied for like 3.6 runs as of right now. So I think that's going to lead to Montas getting ownership from the guys that are already playing Scherzer or Rogers or Ryu and are looking for a cheaper alternative as an SP2. 8100. Top offense is Yankees, right? The Yankees have been hot. And they're playing a former teammate, J.A. Happ, who has a 48.5% fly ball rate with a 35.8% hard contact rate. An xFIP over 5, a Sierra over 5, and only a 16% K rate. I know the Yankees have struggled this season, but there's 2 games in a row that they've now managed to put together some runs. Aaron Judge seems to be getting hot. So I expect the Yankees numbers, especially against lefties, to increase, and while we like them better at home typically, they seem to be heating up right now. They got something working, and I think that we should continue to play them. Erod's an interesting one. I had to put Houston and Boston's offenses because how good they are in the park in the top offensive section. So they're both in there. I'm going to start with Erod. Erod appears to be extremely unlucky. He just played Houston, I think it was 2 starts ago. He did okay against the Yankees. 2 starts ago, he played Houston, and he got rocked. 6 earned runs. It was a disaster. Now, that was in Houston. Now he's at home in Boston, small park. And again, as we saw, Houston is now the top team in WRC plus against lefties. 16.6% K rate, 170 ISO, 348 WOBA. The thing that gets me is Erod looks like he is due for some positive regression. His xFIP in Sierra tells us he's actually been pitching well. His ERA tells us he's been awful. BABIP tells us he's been unlucky. 26% K rate's healthy. I just don't know if this is the spot, so you got to lean towards the Houston offense, at least as of now. Under that same breath, Greinke looks like he's got a little bit of regression coming. And, again, he's been a little reverse splitsy, you know. Boston, what's that, 7th in WRC plus, 106, 328 WOBA, 189 ISO, one of the top. They have a 25% K rate against righties, but Greinke, that's not really been his thing, right? 18.4% strikeout rate for him. So then the Boston righties are very interesting. JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts. That game in general has one of the higher totals out there on a small slate. The best hitting park we have, or at least one of, right? So you know, that game in general kind of stood out. Lastly, I think it's at least worth talking about is Mike Minor against the A's. Now, I think this one can go either way. I probably should have put this in the what to watch section, but I didn't. And it looks like Minor's got some positive regression coming, but it's not like his numbers are phenomenal. If we take a look at Oakland, they are actually fifth. Fifth highest WRC plus against lefties, 116, 330 WOBA, 187 ISO, and a 24% K rate. So that's kind of a toss-up, but I'll add Oakland to the list because they do have some, like Mark Canha. The dude's been red hot. I mean, he seems like he's getting home runs every time they see a lefty. I don't know. But, you know, you could also make an argument to take a shot on him. I just don't like the price personally. Things to watch. Chichi Gonzalez, as bad as his numbers are, as awful they are, playing Miami. So we could see an outcome of mediocrity on both sides. Chichi's not good. Miami's not good. It's just a disastrous game. Or we can see one of these low-owned options do well. Miami does have a 26% K rate against righties with a 132 ISO and a 293 WOBA. Right? But Chichi has a 4.88 xFIP, a 5.23 Sierra, and a 13.3% K rate. It's tough, right? What do you do? Just ignore the game? Or at least ignore this particular matchup of the game? Because we like Rodgers, right? Anthony Desclafani, I think the Nationals could be a pretty interesting stack if the game goes. Desclafani looks like he's got some regression coming. 249 BABIP tells us he's been a little on the lucky side. And on top of that, like, this one is for the BVIP people. Washington as a team has a really good BVIP off him. Soto, like guys you wouldn't expect. I think Castro and Harrison were on that list of guys that have done well. Josh Bell, remember he's seen them guys a lot from his time with the Pirates, or I'm sorry, the Reds. So yeah, I think that the Nationals, you know, are kind of an interesting sneaky stack. But obviously, they're not the greatest offense that we've seen against righties. They have a 86 WRC plus 298 WOBA, 134 ISO, but they do put the ball in play. 22.7% strikeout rate, kind of low. Last thing to watch, and I think this could be a sneaky offensive spot for both. We discussed Ryu already as an option. We had to, but Ryu versus Keuchel. In Chicago, one of the better hitting parks. Keuchel's numbers are nothing special. His main attribute, his main saving grace is this 59.5% ground ball rate. But when you have a ground ball rate that high, your BABIP is not going to typically stay low. So I think Toronto and Chicago are some stacks that will come in lower owned that are kind of interesting. Toronto, 104 WRC plus 322 WOBA, 168 ISO, and a 22% K rate against lefties. We should see the ball put in play. And it's a small park with two offenses that got some power. So I think that game in general is interesting. And if you don't like that, then you're probably going to be interested in one of these pitchers. I'm kind of a never Keuchel guy because of the strikeout rate. But Ryu maybe, I guess. And it's time for the Dong Watch. Yes, it is. And number one, I'm going with, matter of fact, we'll flip back to this. We'll go Josh Bell, number one for the infield. Remember, infield, outfielder, third one's a wild card. So Josh Bell, number one. Lefty against Desclafani, he's a switch hitter. Assuming this game does play. We'll go I'm gonna stick with a hot hand here and go with Aaron Judge, who just completely murked against Minnesota. Yeah, this is not the game. They're missing a game here because it's still ongoing. But Aaron Judge, as you can see, looks like he's heating up, man. And he's got J.A. Happ if they pitch to him. And then we're going Mark Canha for the wild card. Like I said, man, this guy's just been lighting it up. And he gets a lefty. He's been mashing lefties. We'll go Mark Canha, number 3. So Josh Bell, Aaron Judge, Mark Canha, right? And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this edition of the MLB DFS Wise Stream. Again, I do write a core plays article at wisetake.com for final takes. If you're a member there, we have day passes. You can check out. My projections are up there. Cheat sheets. Paulie D, our boy Paulie D, does the DFS dirt sheets, which is a really cool little thing for our members to go kind of real quickly see who his favorite stacks are, what tier, what his favorite pitchers are. So get into the mind of Paulie D real quick with an easy to read sheet. So yeah, we got content. If you're a WiseTake monthly member or higher, we have a Slack chat you can get in on. Just follow the rules there. You got to be a monthly member or higher though. Trying to get it rolling again. It's been a little quiet. We've gone through some stuff and a little quiet, but looking to pick up the momentum and do the dirty, which we always do. That's gonna do it. Hit the like button on your way out. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation. As always, good luck.